Hi, it's Mark Donegan. Most companies fight to be slightly better than their competitors, but the real winners, they create entirely new categories where they're the only player that matters. The challenge is to break free from we've always done it this way, thinking to build something truly category defining. Having worked with countless B2B tech companies on market positioning, I've seen how radical differentiation transforms entire industries. Here's my conversation on category design strategy.
Listen up, it's marketing time. Bright ideas spark and grow in your mind. From strategies to big exec dreams, catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Welcome to the Marketing Execution Podcast. This is the show for tech founders and leaders building B2B products and technologies. We show you how to go further, faster to get the business results you need.
From strategies to big exec dreams, catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Mark, I've been reflecting on something that I think a lot of founders are feeling right now. It's this sense that they're on a hamster wheel. They're working their tails off, they're shipping code, they're tweaking their ads, but they're just fighting for inches in a market that someone else already owns. It feels exhausting.
Oh, 100%. It's the classic red ocean, right? You're just trying to be a slightly better, maybe slightly cheaper version of the category leader. And it's a soul crushing way to build a company, a race to the bottom.
Exactly. So how do you break out of that? I mean, is the only answer to have a 10x better product? Because let's be honest, that's almost impossible for most early stage teams.
See, that's the trap. You're asking the wrong question. It's not about being better. It's about being different. And I don't mean a little different. I mean so completely different that you can't even be compared. This is the core of an idea called category design. The folks at Category Pirates have really defined this, and it completely flips the script on traditional business strategy.
Category design. I've definitely heard the term thrown around, but it always felt a little, like a fluffy marketing concept for big companies with big budgets.
It is the least fluffy concept there is pure uncut strategy. It's about inventing a whole new game that you are uniquely suited to win. Instead of asking, how do we beat the competition? You start asking, how do we create a world where our competition is completely irrelevant?
Irrelevant. Okay, now you have my attention. Give me a real-world example of that.
Okay, perfect. Think about pet food. For years, the undisputed king was Hill Science Diet, prescription food sold through vets, total behemoth. Now, you could try to make a slightly better prescription food, or you could do what Royal Canin did. They didn't even try to compete. They created an entirely new category, breed-specific pet food.
Wow. So special food just for German Shepherds or just for Bulldogs.
Exactly. And here's the key. That wasn't just a new label on the bag. That was a fundamental business model shift. It meant they had to re-engineer their entire supply chain, build smaller, more agile factories to handle all the variety. They willingly sacrificed old school efficiency for this radical differentiation. And it was a home run. They weren't just another choice anymore. For the customer who truly believed their poodle was special, Royal Canin was the only choice. They changed the entire game.
That makes so much sense. They created a new set of rules. But for a founder listening to this right now, that feels massive, intimidating even. How do you even begin to find an idea that big?
Right. And this is my absolute favorite part, because it flies in the face of everything Silicon Valley has preached for the last decade. You have to forget the minimum viable product.
Wait, what? Forget the MVP. That's heresy in the startup world.
It is. But an MVP is about thinking small. It asks, what's the smallest experiment I can run? Category design demands you think bigger. It's about the maximum viable category. And MVC, it asks, what's the most audacious category-defining future I can possibly create? And what's the smallest step I can take to start proving that future is real?
Maximum viable category. I've never heard that before.
Look at Tesla. Elon didn't set out to build a slightly better electric car to compete with a Nissan Leaf. He set out to build a future where internal combustion engines are a relic in a museum. People aren't just buying the car, they're buying a ticket to that future. That's category design. And their stock price reflects it. They're not valued like Ford, they're valued like a world-changing movement.
So if I'm a founder and I'm bought in, MVC, not MVP, what's the first tactical step? Where do I find that spark?
You find your people. And I don't mean your target market. I mean your super consumer.
Okay, define super consumers for me.
They are the tiny percentage of your potential audience who are completely, utterly obsessed with the problem you solve. They're not price sensitive, they're emotionally invested. I once heard of a SaaS company that built a tool for a tiny niche type of data security compliance, a tiny market. Most investors would run for the hills. Yeah, sounds way too small. You'd think so, right? But the CSOs who had this specific compliance problem, it was a 5-alarm fire for them. They would pay anything for a solution, and that company focused only on them. They built for them, they spoke their language, and those first 10 users became this insane word-of-mouth marketing engine. Here on the Marketing Execution Podcast, we're always talking about getting traction, but this is the strategic core of it. You find the tribe that will scream your name from the rooftops. You ignore everyone else, at least at first.
It's about embracing the niche instead of running from it. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Be everything to a very specific someone.
You serve the few to eventually sell to the many. Yes.
And that is such a powerful reframe. It all connects from the product to the grand vision, all the way down to a very specific group of people.
And you know what the wildest part is? You can apply this entire framework to your own career.
Hold on. You can category design your own career? What does that even mean?
Think about it. Are you just trying to be a better project manager, a better software engineer? Or are you creating a category of one? Instead of just being another accountant, what if you were the only accountant in the country who specializes in helping bootstrap SaaS founders navigate international tax law?
Oh, okay. I see exactly where you're going with this. It's about finding that unique intersection of skills and passion where you're literally not competing with thousands of other people. You become the go-to person.
You become the category king of you. It's about being known for a very specific thing. It's what makes you indispensable, not just another resume in the pile. It's about building your personal brand around a problem that you, and maybe only you, are uniquely positioned to solve. For anyone feeling stuck, it's a total game changer for how you view your own value.
That's genuinely powerful. It takes this big business strategy and makes it intensely personal. Okay, so if you've defined that new category for yourself or your company, that's one thing. But what about actually establishing yourself as the leader of it? Let's pivot for a second and talk about what this means for a founder who has to build that authority from absolute zero.
Yeah, and that's the jump, isn't it? From idea to authority. It's where so many founders get completely stuck because we're all taught that authority comes from having the best product or the most funding or the biggest team, but it doesn't.
Okay, so if it's not the product, where does it come from? How do you build that from nothing?
It comes from owning the problem, not just the solution. You have to be the one who names the pain, who frames the entire conversation. The world doesn't need another solution for a problem it already understands. It needs someone to give them clarity on a problem they can feel but can't describe.
Wait, hang on. So I'm not marketing my software. I'm marketing the diagnosis? Is that what you mean?
Exactly, you nailed it. You're the doctor who finally gives the mysterious illness a name. Think about Southwest Airlines way back in the day. When they started, they weren't out there trying to sell a better flying experience. Who do you think their real competition was?
Oh, the airlines, right? TWA, United, the big guys.
Nope, not even close. Their real competition was a 6-hour car ride, the family station wagon. They didn't waste their breath talking about better peanuts or more legroom. They talked about getting you to your destination faster and cheaper than driving. They framed the problem not as flying is uncomfortable, but as driving takes forever and is totally exhausting.
Oh man, that changes everything. So they weren't just in the airline market, they were in the getting from Dallas to Houston market. They created a new frame of reference. So for a founder listening, it's not about comparing your features to a competitor's, it's about showing the customer a totally different game.
You got it. And you do that by creating the language. You give your new category a name. You define the enemy, the old broken way of doing things. You paint the super clear picture of the promised land. This is what we call having a point of view. A strong differentiated POV is what separates a category king from just another vendor. A point of view. I love that. But it sounds kind of abstract.
How do you build authority around a POV when you have like 0 followers and $20 in the bank? It feels like you'd be shouting into the void.
You write it down. You don't need a budget for that. You create a manifesto. You publish your thinking. You start a tiny newsletter, a podcast, whatever, and you teach, you evangelize. You talk relentlessly about the problem, the new way, the future you see. The goal is to get people to start seeing the world through your lens. So you have to become the number one educator on the problem. Yes, not the number one salesperson for your solution, because something magical happens when people start using your vocabulary to describe their own challenges. At that point, you've won. You are no longer selling to them, you're leading them. They see you as the guide, the one person who understands their world better than anyone else.
That's why some companies they feel different, you know? It's not just their website or their product, it's their entire message. They stand for something. They aren't just selling a tool, they're selling a belief.
A belief. That's the perfect word. People don't rally behind a product, they rally behind a belief. And when you're building from absolute zero, a powerful belief is your single greatest asset. It's what will attract those first 10, then 100 super consumers. They aren't just buying your software, they're joining your cause.
A cause, not just a company. Okay, this is shifting my whole perspective. We've gone from the big idea to the why behind it, the belief system. But I know everyone listening is now desperate for the how. So let's get super practical. If a founder is sitting there with a blank sheet of paper, ready to build this movement, what's the very first thing they write down?
Tim, ideas are great, but execution is everything. People get so hung up on the big vision, they forget the first step. And the first step isn't writing a business plan. It's not coding a product. The very first thing you write down is on a blank sheet of paper with a line drawn right down the middle.
A line? That's the secret? Okay, you have to explain this. What's the magic line?
It's the most powerful tool you have. On the left side of the line, you write the word from. On the right side, you write to. That's it. This is your map. The from column is the old world, the broken way, the problem everyone is stuck in. The to column is the new world, the future you're creating. It's the promised land.
Wow, so it's not a list of features. It's a map of the change you want to make in the world. It's the before and after picture for your entire industry.
Exactly. Think about a company like Gong. Their from column would say things like sales coaching based on opinions, managers guessing what makes a top performer, lost deal reasons are a mystery. The 2, coaching based on data, understanding what your best reps actually say and do, knowing exactly why you win or lose. The product is just the vehicle to get from one side to the other.
Okay, that makes it so clear. You're selling the journey from the from to the to. So once you have this map, what's step 2?
You don't show it to everyone. You find the people who are already trying to make that journey on their own. The ones who are so fed up with the from world that they're hacking together their own solutions with spreadsheets and duct tape. These are your super consumers.
So you're looking for the people who feel the pain the most.
The most. It's not about demographics. It's about desperation. Think about Miro. They didn't just go after companies. Their super consumers were product and marketing teams who were trying to brainstorm remotely. The from was a mess of PowerPoints and screenshots. The to was a seamless, infinite canvas for collaboration. Miro found the people who were already feeling the pain of that disconnect and gave them a perfect solution.
So you map the journey, then you find the people who are already desperate to take it. Got it. That brings us to the final piece, right? How do you actually lead them?
You give the journey a name. You have to name the new category. It's everything. This is what gives people a flag to rally around. It turns a scattered group of frustrated people into a movement. The best example is Drift. They could have sold better live chat for sales teams.
Snooze. That's a future comparison.
Total snooze. Instead, they created and named a new game, conversational marketing. That name is poetry. It instantly frames the from, static forms, waiting for emails, and points to the to, real-time conversations, immediate connection. The name becomes the shorthand for your whole point of view. It does all the work for you.
Man, this is so powerful. It feels doable now. Not just this big abstract idea. It's a 3-step process. Draw the map, find the true believers, and give the movement a name. Okay, this has been a masterclass, Mark. Can you tie it all together for us? Give us the 1, 2, 3 summary of everything we've just worked through.
Okay, the 1, 2, 3. First, you have to stop trying to be better and decide to be different. You invent a new category, a new game that you are destined to win. Second, you build that game for a tiny group of people, your super consumers, the ones who are absolutely desperate for the change you represent. You ignore everyone else. Third, you lead them, not by selling, but by teaching. You create the language, the point of view, and you map out the journey from the painful old way to the promised land you're creating. It's about building a movement, not just a company.
Man, that's the perfect roadmap. So after all of this, if a founder walking away from this episode could only remember one thing, what's the one thought you hope truly sticks with them?
Stop selling what you make and start selling what you see. Most founders try to sell a product, a feature, a thing. But the category kings, they sell a point of view. They sell a different future. If people buy into your vision, they will buy anything you build to get them there. Sell the vision first. The Marketing Execution Podcast is produced by Growth Stage Marketing. We are on a mission to see your company reach wild success using marketing pods.
Too big, accept dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Thank you for listening and being a part of the Marketing Execution movement and community. To learn how growth stage marketing clients reach more buyers and drive business impact, go to growthstage.marketing. That's growthstage.marketing.